Welcome, everybody. My name is Mike Harm, and I'm the Chief Architect for Digital Workplace here at Atos North America. Joining me today, I've got people from across the Chrome Enterprise spectrum. I have Zach Lapatina from Google, who's part of the Chrome team. I have Diego Humbert from the Intel team, responsible for their relationship with Alphabet and Google. And I have Rhett Livengood from the business client team at Intel. So today, we're going to be talking about Chrome Enterprise and the value it brings to digital workplace services like we offer, and the 10th Gen Core platform that enables Chrome Enterprise to be really performant and really powerful. So when we talk about this relationship between Intel and Atos and Google, especially in the Chrome space, we're always looking at the best platforms and the most performant and the best experience for our users. In that auspice, we're always looking for the right enabler, the right device for the right type of user, and really the ability for that user to have the best experience working anywhere. So I think it's important to kind of kick this off and talk a little bit more about, Atos and Intel, we've been kind of better together for a long time, right? So, we've been creating digital workplace experiences and helping customers realize value of transformation as part of their digital workplace journey at Atos for many years, and Intel's been a key partner in doing that for many years. One of the things that's great about what we've done in involving Google and the whole Alphabet organization, and specifically the Chrome Enterprise platform, is we found a platform that's extremely secure, extremely flexible, but also extremely simplified and highly convenient from a user consumption and user experience perspective. And in doing so, I think we're looking at our experience working together and how we enhance that with Chrome Enterprise. So when we talk about the digital workplace, I think it's important to talk a little bit about what our digital workplace really is to us. And for us, the differentiator that we see ourselves in is we create a user-centric workplace design. And today, that's become more important than ever because we have these challenges with everyone needing to work remotely and everyone still needing to collaborate and be productive because businesses need to run and productivity needs to be at the levels or at a greater level than it was, before this pandemic. And the services design and the personalization and tailoring of those services to the right types of workers is more important than ever. So our persona-based, user-focused design and transformation service is I think one of the biggest advantages we have in the digital workplace services delivery space today. And one of the ways that helps us deliver the best platforms and the best performance for our users is through personas and creating profiles for each type of user based on specific contexts, like their, the places they work, which right now have been vastly changed, right? The platforms they work on and the ability to offer a diversity of those platforms to users based on not only the type of user they are and where they work, but also the applications and services that they consume. So with that, and the ability to then personalize the support services that they consume, we're able to offer a very granular but very rich service experience that's high convenience for the user and highly choice-based. So there's a lot of work styles and user types that can choose their platform, and we think that a lot of them are going to start to choose Chrome Enterprise, and especially now that Chrome Enterprise has reached the enterprise device space on Intel 10th Gen Core. So with that, I mean, Zach, just a little bit about Chrome Enterprise for the viewers here that might not know the most about it. Could we talk a little bit about what Chrome Enterprise brings to the table beyond what traditional Chromebooks and kind of the earlier iterations of Chrome OS are?
Sounds like a plan. Okay, thanks, Mike. So Chrome Enterprise, specifically Chrome OS, is a cloud-based native operating system designed for enterprise users. The first pillar I'm going to speak about is security. It vastly simplifies the secure experience, removing the need for traditional antivirus software. In addition, there's background updates that run without you even knowing it, which is a huge deal for both user experience and overall cost, which we'll get to in a bit. Second, like I said, we're focusing on building personas or profiles. And some of those are knowledge workers, which we consider more the traditional office worker, the frontline worker, such as, just an example, insurance adjusters, store workers, and in addition to that, power users. And with that comes the need for pulling information at a moment's notice. And that's where cloud applications and cloud users come into play. And Chrome Enterprise is built for that. In addition, its tie-in with G Suite is a major win and major productivity boost for all users. Finally, total cost of ownership. We ran a study about 2 years ago that measured a lot of the users' typical patterns. We've noticed with the reduction of security costs, reduced time for updates and maintenance, and hardware maintenance in itself, we saw almost a 500 per device savings annually when moving to Chromebooks and Chrome Enterprise. So with that, we see a really compelling reason to start promoting this platform and starting to improve upon your enterprise space. With that, I'll move it over to Diego.
Wonderful, Zach. So yeah, like now I think Mike gave you like a wonderful overview of like what do we mean about like digital workplace services? How do we, I would say, approach this? And Zach told you a little bit about the Chrome Enterprise environment, but now of course, like the question, what is the value Intel brings here? What is the value actually our processes, our commercial processes bring to you? And as you see, I would say everyone sees we're working at home. We're facing, I would say, like an agile work environment. We're spending most of our times in conference calls. Whilst before, I would say we had like kind of a mix between like a physical appearance and a digital appearance. We're now more and more, I would say, deep diving into this digital work. And this again means that we're demanding more and more from our processor. And only like nearly 1.5 months ago, we launched our first, for example, commercial Athena product from HP, which simply is a new way of product innovation and that is actually being tested and verified by us at Intel. And I think this gives also like a good approach of where we as Intel actually empower, I would say, this new work environment, also like empower Chrome Enterprise. And when we talk Intel, when we talk our processes, I think it's very important to have 3 points in mind when we talk about our latest generation, our 10th generation, which simply come hand in hand, I would say, to help us in this really, I would say, new environment in this kind of anywhere workplace. And when we talk about our latest generation, we talk about productivity. And when I say productivity, I speak about 70% better multitasking than from previous generation. And when we see, I would say, the world around us, right? As I said, we're working more on a digital aspect. We're using more and more our Chromebooks to connect to our colleagues, to connect with our clients, to conduct any kind of exercises, to simply communicate. So this all over again, this needs, I would say, more power and more demand from our processor, which is simply delivered with the 10th generation. Then again, of course, hand in hand with our 10th generation comes Wi-Fi 6. And this is something I think that a lot of people forget, because we are now working from home. We are working remotely. Whilst beforehand we had the infrastructure we had in the office, in the enterprise, we are now looking back and actually are dependent on the infrastructure we have now, the internet connection we have now, which we probably will be sharing with our kids, with our husband, girlfriend, wife, you name it. And what Wi-Fi 6 does within your Intel-powered Chromebook is actually provides with faster speed. So I'm talking here actually about a maximum of 9.6 gigabytes per second, which simply allows you better upload, download speed due to increased bandwidth. It allows you traffic prioritization. And when we talk traffic prioritization, it is, I would say, like a unique feature which enables different devices or your device with Wi-Fi 6 to communicate with other devices and prioritize with the devices that simultaneously need internet. One way we do this with Wi-Fi 6 is so-called orthogonal frequency division multiple access. And I think this is a really great point to simply emphasize when we are facing this home environment. And last but not least, when we talk Wi-Fi 6, we also talk about beamforming. This has not been invented, but heavily improved. We simply pinpoint out the device that needs internet at the moment from the router perspective. So having now these 2 points in mind, when we talk 10th generation, we talk productivity, we talk Wi-Fi 6, which simply allows you to make the best out of the connection wherever you are, wherever you need internet, and wherever you need to be connected with the workplace. So what we also need to understand, and this is where, again, Intel-powered Chromebooks come in place, is we need to equip ourselves towards this new kind of work experience, towards this new kind of work, I would say, workplace and work environment. And this again means that we need to ensure stability. And this is where our stable IT Intel platform program comes into place, which comes hand in hand with every commercial processor. What I mean by that is that we assure you that for the next 15 months, there will be no hardware changes or until the next generation arrives. So when we talk I would say bring it all again in a nutshell, when we talk about our 10th generation, when we talk about Intel-powered Chromebooks, we need to understand that we are demanding more from our processor. We're facing a new environment, and the solution to simply empower this new digital kind of workplace is simply relies, I would say, in particular around our help through the 10th generation.
Awesome. So I think there's a great symbiosis here between Chrome OS and Chrome Enterprise from that perspective being the right technology platform and the right software and application delivery platform, and the 10th Gen Core platform really being the right performance and productivity platform, both from a network connectivity perspective and from a just raw processing power point of view. And those have come together, right? And we now no longer think about Chromebooks and Chrome OS devices as these low-cost budget devices that only deliver a basic experience, right? You can have full enterprise compute power, full enterprise connectivity power with Chrome OS. And at Atos, we're driving a digital workplace experience and application delivery and device management and security practices that enable enterprise control while delivering user convenience and choice. So I think we've got a lot that we'll discuss over the coming weeks, on this site, and we'll have some things that we'll bring together jointly and individually around those value propositions. And I look forward to sharing all of that with the folks that are visiting us here. And I think and each of us will contribute, and we will probably have some additional follow-up web sessions like this as we continue to work remotely but together, and we continue to all work on our anywhere work strategy, right? So Zach, Rhett, do you have other final thoughts as far as things we want to keep in mind or things that we'll look forward to talking about as we progress here with our new joint campaign?
Sure. Mike, one other thing I wanted to bring up, and this is something that Atos has a very powerful solution on, is the relationship between the total digital workplace experience and the admin console. That's what Google calls their internal maintenance system for Chrome OS and Chrome Enterprise. There's a great symbiosis there on making sure we're reducing the total cost of ownership and making it easier to manage your fleet of devices, and not only devices, software rollouts that you want to incorporate into your workers' lifestyle and work stream.
Yeah, that's a great point. So Rhett, I mean, from a platform perspective, as we talk about business client, I mean, do we see a wave of change coming where those that are kind of in the traditional space today, looking at business client as largely a Microsoft-based opportunity, are you seeing the things that we're talking about here relative to the shift in buyers and the shift in content around creating a flexible workplace and introducing this platform?
Yeah, I think a lot of you were introduced to Chromebooks, many years ago, and probably used them in a school or education setting. And Google has really focused on building from the ground up a new business computing device. And in addition to adding some of the Intel core technologies in there, they've also, with their software suite, integrated in things like stable IT platform and some other business features that are very important, especially now as many of us work remotely. So it's really worth, I think, another look. This isn't your school days Chromebook, so definitely worth a look for some serious business computing.
Excellent, awesome, thank you. So guys, we'll continue to create some content out here around this, but I wanted to talk just a little bit about our current situation. One of the things that we've talked about before in the past as we kind of planned for this campaign was about all of us were focused on anytime, anywhere work for employees, and for our various customers. Now that's more important than ever, and I think we've realized that we've helped enable solutions that have allowed work to continue, considering this pandemic and considering our kind of forced remote scenario that we're all in. What do we think that looks like in out years, right? I mean, if we look at a post-COVID scenario where we all start to return to a new normal, what do we think is going to happen with remote work? Zach, Diego, Red, do you guys have thoughts on that?
So I would say like it's a very good question, Mike. And I think I personally see it always like kind of a black box. So I think this COVID has disrupted all our lives, not only our personal lives, but also in particular our professional lives. We're all working from home, as we can see at the moment. We're connected only via our device. We do not actually know how this new kind of life and new kind of, I would say, stability is going to come back, and how this new, I would say, work environment is going to look like. So to give an example, for example, Gartner made a survey, a global survey, which they conducted, and the result of the survey was that 88% of companies have encouraged actually their employees to work from home due to COVID. And when we now look into a post-COVID environment, and Forbes again made, I would say, like an event where they analyzed, I would say, work from home from future, which again emphasized this fact that people will be more and more work remotely. So I would say I see two ways. So personally, I believe that remote working will play a more and more important I would say more important aspect. We do not know where this is going to, but what I think is very sure is that our digital presence will be more demanded than ever.
Absolutely. So Zach, do you have thoughts from the Google point of view?
Yeah, I agree. The importance of accessing your data from a remote locations will be more important than ever. Gone are the days where you have to be on site at your company's location to pull what information you need to do your job. That's all part of the Chrome Enterprise experience, to be able to share, collaborate, and succeed eventually, workplace anywhere you are. And the point that Google Enterprise is also lightweight. So if we're talking really anywhere, we're talking about extending the ability for you to work anywhere. We all forget our chargers sometimes. We always forget our peripherals. But our goal is to make the work experience and the operating system experience as lightweight and nimble as possible. So that's just tying into what Diego said. With we're working everywhere and anywhere. We're designing our systems to meet that need.
That's great. And from an Atos point of view, we've met a lot of challenges, right? This crisis has forced us into, and sometimes helped force our customers into situations where, we have to transform, and we have to come up with solutions for the employees that we always assumed would be on premises, right? I think that's forced us into some good solutions. I think it's forced us into some workarounds that we're going to be challenged to get right and to really refine from a management and enrollment and provisioning experience perspective, as well as from a delivery and support perspective, supporting everyone in a remote scenario, supporting all of the applications that we need to do our jobs, from anywhere, whether that's a streamed or a delivered or an installed and packaged experience, right? So this is going to be a platform that I think will become even more accessible and even more valuable as the delivery platform for that user experience that's created through a digital workplace program. And I think Chrome OS, because of its simplicity, because of the portability of the data there, and we'll have some other material around a lot of these details that we'll think about. But that portability of your persona, that portability of your configuration and data is going to be a key consideration when users have the choice, and it's going to be our goal at Atos to help enable that choice overall.
Yeah. And Mike, I wanted to just speak directly to any of you in the IT profession listening out there. Atos' acquisition of Mavenwave has really added some very deep Google and Chrome capabilities, not only in deploying, but also around security, which is such a very hot topic these days. So I think in these remote worker times, that acquisition and integration in with the services is really going to be a key asset going forward.
Absolutely, Rhett. And actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because we've not only done the acquisition with Mavenwave earlier this year, and we're so excited to have the Mavens on board with us here at Atos. But not only have we achieved a lot of great stuff jointly in our very complementary portfolios, but we've done work together already that's showing the results, right? So that's the other thing that the current situation has kind of thrust us into, is really looking at jointly as a team, how do we help deliver, our support and managed services with their really intelligent consulting and design work. And they bring a practice with them around organizational change management and change readiness and value assurance that's totally transformed already the Atos digital workplace not just in the Google sphere, but across our portfolio. So we're really excited about Maven Wave being a part of this. We're going to have Maven Wave contributors here in our joint value proposition site. We're going to talk more about and talk with some folks from Maven Wave and some of their value stories and the solutions they've already enabled for Chrome Enterprise and for G Suite customers as part of our work here. So guys, I really appreciate the discussion, and I think we've got a number of opportunities already that we've talked about that will be part of this. I think we're going to see a lot of additional stuff come together as we involve more and more from our joint teams, and even some of our customers to come and talk about their experiences to help with customers that are thinking about these types of transformations or thinking about some digital workplace change as part of what's going on right now, or even for long term. We'll be kind of flooding this site with information and links and more on all of our capabilities and all of our work together. So guys, I thank you so much for being a part of this, but I think we're gonna close this up for now, and we'll be back soon, hopefully with more video content. But stay tuned as well on the site for all of our written content. We're gonna put some blogs out here. There are gonna be some information sites and links to other sources as well. So stay tuned, guys, and we'll be back soon. Thanks a lot, everybody.